Okay, let's do a quick analysis of a scene from Juno. Okay, before we even start the film rolling, take a look at how this first shot is framed. Okay, not only, okay, so it's balanced, right? It is clean. We have here this tree up here in that left side here, breaking the frame into thirds, right? And then here's the third week actually cutting through this house. So it's a little off balance in that this tree is here. What does the tree represent? I think the tree represents life, but it's also kind of bare. Okay, and here comes the runners, and they're going to cut across here, right? Small in the frame. The houses dominate this frame here, right? So, and these houses are very suburban. See how the going up right into the home, right? So something's going on here. This is being celebrated, right? It's sort of ideal. Well, it's a little idyllic, okay? It's early. Look at the long shadows, right? So I think it's early morning here. There's still snow on the ground, right? So there's kind of a freshness in the air, Christmas in the air when it's wintertime. And you can see how the shadows are all cast onto these houses, right? And notice that we progress from sort of a lighter house into a white house into a red house. And notice down here, this red is matching on both sides of the frame, right? So here we have our main character running right in here with his yellow bandana, and then we have this red house. So he's sort of running through here. Let's go ahead and hit play. And as they run towards the red house and off frame. Okay, so look at the movement, the way the kinesis works there, right? Sending these guys across. Okay, so they cut through between here, right? So it's elegantly framed in a way that makes us feel like they're going. There's a change happening, right? There is a positive thing happening here. So Polly Bleecker, right, is the head of the pack. He's leading this sort of charge. There's definitely a positive thing happening here. Okay, so move forward. It's the next. All right. So look at how we're so far down, right? We just see this is going to be Juno coming through the doorway, right? And it's framed so that there's it's kind of masked out for us. So it's a slice out of this house, right? But why would the filmmaker put the camera way down here? All right, let's see how this unfolds. Okay, and we pan up. Oh, and it's Polly coming out. Okay, so it's Polly coming out. And here's this bandana. So my bad, I thought it was going to be Juno. Right, so here he is in lots of red. Pan up to him. Look at his face. He's a little worried. Okay, he's a little worried. He's coming out. He's looking down at the floor. And then we do a eye line match cut. Right, so we're looking. He looks down, and then we see this is a direct point of view of what Polly sees. And notice how this is all in caps, right? So it's clear to read for the audience, but it's scrolled out enough so that you think, okay, well maybe this is done by Juno here. Okay, and he looks back up, a little bit of hope. He descends, all right? Notice how we cut here, right? Notice this cut. Notice this cut here, right? He comes out of frame first. He's all right. See how we match action here, right? Going from his head, right, and then right. So it's almost right where his head was. Look, right here. The way this edit goes. So look. Notice where his head is, where Polly's head is in the previous scene. So he disappears down. So his head is right where the mailbox is, and then coming out of what was once his head is red Tic Tacs. And he sees that as a sign that Juno has now come back into his life. Again, notice the red, right? Red renewal. In this film, it's not so much. So it is blood, right? So it's like a sort of a, I might even argue, sort of a menstrual blood. They're sloughing off of the old rebirth, right? Because the uterus is going to be lined, right, with all the blood that's giving birth, that's giving life to the baby. So this sort of blood red, blood life, right, all through here. And again, see, you saw how this was coming out of how the Tic Tacs were all flowing out of what was once his head, right? So it's like this purge, right? This sort of brilliant, this brilliant purge, and this kind of letting, and it represents him, right? So it's like he's being released from this prison, right? He's being released as the symbolic Tic Tac from the prison that he was stuck inside here, right? Like it's like he's been basically kind of metaphorically stuck inside a tube, and he comes out. Okay, we pan up, right? And so the low angle, it's not about power, right? Because angles are always about not necessarily, it's like if you always look up, that means that person's powerful. So it's not like he has power, but he is feeling big though, right? If it was looking down on him, he would be kind of reduced, right? And, depending on how it played, that could be okay too, but right now they're using it, they're using the tilt up, they're using all those tilts up to let Polly, for us to see Polly as like this, he's full of life, right? Look at how the trees are coming. A lot of these branches are bursting right out of his body, right? And he's red here again. He's sort of the source of life, right? Okay. All right. We're running. You notice the curve as they're heading towards sort of like global, right? Polly drifts out, and he sees, and who does he see? Smile, and there she comes, right? And notice how we have over here, right? We have not only do we have Juno coming towards him, you see how we matched that that curve of the track, the sort of roundness of her belly here. Also notice that over here we have split into thirds, right? Here's this sort of representation of leaping over something, right? And over here we have the cheerleaders sort of cheering on Juno as she's making this, like she's making the play, right? Here's like kind of the football field or the the track, and they're like, "Go, Juno, you're doing it, right?" Okay, and also here's a little bit of sort of off red going on there. Notice the red over here still. So look, so she's sort of the athlete, and they're cheering her on as she's coming forward, right? They turn and look at the leap, right? See that leap, right? Why would the filmmakers time this leap right here, right before the cut, right? Because this is sort of jumping for joy. It's also, again, this sort of leaping over the obstacles, right? Leapt over the obstacles. Then notice they make this turn right here too. This turn, wow, right into the frame. So as they all turn to Juno, you get this sort of jumping for joy in the background, overcoming the obstacles. So all these things, this here too in the foreground, the blue sort of like an ocean, right? So she comes forward, and here comes Polly, and he's cutting across. He's off of the track, and he's going to the middle. So he's going off of what the usual track is for somebody at his age and going towards the one that he loves, right? So he's coming off of the usual track, right? Okay, move forward. Okay, notice the two-shot.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Why?
Well, they're your fave, and...
Okay, so the two-shot, and they go out to a medium shot here.
you can never have too many of your favorite one cowboy breathmen, so...
Okay, so, all right, there's all this kind of romantic buildup, right? And so that they come and they meet, and instead of like, the two coming at each other and meeting, going whoa, and grabbing each other and being all melodramatic, they stop and look at the space. Look at the space between them. They're still really awkward. And she's kind of explaining to Polly, about the whole Tic Tac thing. I know that was like kind of romantic or whatever. She was so. Look at how this is this a romantic scene? If this was just a still, would you say, "Oh, the romance"? No, you wouldn't. And look how Polly is also mimicking her Juno's pregnancy, right? Because they're both pregnant together now, right? Okay.
Oh, I just thought I'd...
Yeah. Well, thanks. I think I'm pretty much set until college on the Tic Tac front.
Blake, I was thinking, and I'm sorry I was such a huge bitch to you. You don't deserve it.
It's okay, It's okay.
And also, I think I'm in love with you.
Okay, so notice we move to a close-up. Or not really close-up, but it's much, much closer, right? So when they were talking awkwardly, now we want to see Polly's reaction here. We want to see from her point of view, right? We want to see how he reacts to her.
Meet his friends?
Look, he's not getting it.
For real. Because you're like, the coolest person I've ever met, and you don't even have to try. You know,
I try really hard, actually.
you're like naturally smart. And you're not like everyone else. You don't stare at my stomach all the time. You look at my face, and every time I see you, the baby starts kicking super hard.
Okay, notice the action back there too, right? They all seem to be up in this corner here when they're all walking. They're coming in and out of her head. Did you notice that? Okay, and the tilt down shot. Right. Okay. See how they're all kind of going in, like it's like life is coming in and out of Juno's head, and it always stops before they get to the other side. They're always on the side of her, always behind her, right? Isn't that funny? And I think so.
Golden.
Can we make out now?
Yeah.
Okay, and they bring in the music, right? And now they come in, and right, he's still holding that stomach there. All right. Now, why use these cutaways?
You could go into early labor sucking face like that.
Right? Notice how this stays out of focus, right? They could have done a rack focus to her finger. Why did it stay out of focus? Right? Because she doesn't really mean it. It's playful, right? If it moved, if it racked into her flipping off the camera, you'd think it'd be kind of mixed messages, right? So about that as well, right? Okay, so that's basically the scene. All right. And these cutaways then put them into context again, like so they've crossed this boundary. They're going to have this baby. It's an unusual thing. So the cheerleaders and everything kind of looking on. And so you'd feel like that sort of awkwardness of stepping across this boundary. And also, notice this big yellow javelin just like going through both of their bodies. Okay, so that's a look at that scene in Juno. And hopefully that was helpful.